Right, so a little background on you, please. Were you born in Italy?
I was born in Italy, yes.
But you're Mexican as well?
I'm half Mexican, yes.
Yeah.
So my mom's Mexican.
Yeah.
My dad is Italian. And I was born and raised in Italy for the most part.
Yeah.
And but I used to spend about 3 months per year in Mexico. So every summer my mom would take us there and we'd spend the whole summer.
Yeah.
So I feel very close to that side of the family, and but I haven't been to Mexico in a long time now. So then I moved here, so now I also feel British.
Yes, of course. Well, we are many things, right?
Personalities. At the same time,
and then, so when did you come to London?
I came in 2012 after I was in Rome for a long time and things were finished. You know, when you are in a situation and you feel that things are done and you need to move on.
Were you doing music there?
I was just like a bedroom musician. I play guitar at home. I was fishy, but I would go to gigs all the time. And then I met a guy from London, in fact, in a gig. He told me, "Oh, you should come to London. It's amazing. There's loads of music." And I was considering London. So then I was like, maybe I'll go to London. Then I started going around that summer. I went to Berlin for a bit in London, and then I got offered like a job here. Like I got an interview. Basically.
Nice.
And I was like, if I get a job in London, then I'm gonna try and I'll see how it goes. I got a good feeling from it. So I got that job, and then I was like, I'm staying.
All right, cool. So I've seen on you describe yourself or yourselves. This is Red Peril you'll talk about. A synth-driven post-punk meets tongue-in-cheek Italo disco.
I mean, I love Italo disco. It's, I think in Italy it's very underrated. They take pride for so many things, but not Italo disco.
Right.
And I think it should be celebrated a bit more because it's such a positive genre, First of all, it's so cool. The synthesizers are amazing. Giorgio Moroder made Italo disco, with his collaboration with Donna Summer and so many other people.
Okay, so that was in the 70s?
That was
So this
started
is when
in the 70s.
And
80s. And it went on to the 90s to become Eurodisco. There are all these. But I like the more like space kind of Italo disco. I'm fascinated with the idea of something beyond Earth and intelligence beyond Earth. And I don't know, I read the book, not ages ago, a few years ago, I read the book from Samantha Cristoforetti, which is an Italian astronaut, and she is just amazing. Just blew my mind. The amount of skills that you need to go to space. Not only you have to be physically trained, you need to speak so many languages, you need to know how to do so many things. And I don't know, I just dreamed that one day I'm gonna go to space.
Right.
It's never gonna happen, but you can but dream.
In terms of your lyrics, what inspires you?
Well, we were just talking about that. I've only got 2 singles out right now with this new project. And so one song is Bollywood Gangster. Which is a reference to the time that I've been in India. I spent a year in India and I've learned Hindi. I love Indian culture.
Oh, amazing.
And I was also studying sitar, but also,
oh my God.
Now I live in a neighborhood which is majority Bangladeshi people, and so I had a couple of interactions that were very much kind of gangster style.
Right.
But in a very funny way. And that inspired me to write a song, because there was a guy that was flirting with me and was calling
in London.
In London.
That's how I pictured the song when I listened to it.
I also was in a Bollywood movie while in India. that was never released. And that's why in the lyrics there is like guns that never fire, dogs that never, that bite and never bark and never bite.
Right.
It's that thing that are always on the edge of happening and they never do.
Yeah.
But it's also a reference to this, this gangster guy that I met.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's one of the song. And the other one is Space Dogs.
Yeah.
And it's about like a dog that was sent to space and died in space. And I just found it really interesting that maybe you're looking at the star and you say, you wish upon a star. But in reality, it's just a dog.
Yeah, like you're orbiting the Earth, you mean?
Through
That's
space.
amazing.
And you'll never know.
That's so cool. You and Dexter in the band at the moment.
Yes.
How did you guys meet? And do you write together?
At the moment, yes, we write together. The first batch of songs where I wrote them, because initially this project started as a solo after Madonna Tron sort of imploded.
Yeah, okay.
So I started Red Peril and I wrote a lot of songs during the pandemic, the lockdowns. And then I met Dex in 2022 at a World Dusher gig.
Yeah.
And then we started hanging out. We started going to Hands, Easy Come.
I played there a couple of times. Yeah. So you jammed together there first?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And then I had all these songs and I had a few gigs booked in. So I did the first few gigs on my own and then I invited him. And so we've written a couple of songs together for the next, because we've got an EP coming up together.
Fantastic.
And we also added a few more people in the band.
How did Madonnatron start? How did you guys meet in the first place?
Madonnatron, we met at the Shakur Arms.
Of course. Where we met.
We met.
Yeah.
So I just went there for a gig, and Beth and Charlie were at the door, like selling tickets.
Yeah.
And I didn't have money in that period because I wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I was like, I should be on the guest list. And that was true. It was true.
Right.
I was like, I should be on the guest list. They were like, no, you're not on the guest list.
Right.
They were very strict and serious. And I was like, okay, in that case, I'm just going to go home and get some coins. Some coins.
Yeah.
And bring them.
Right, yeah. And,
I went back and I took these £3 and I bring them there, and they looked at me very badly as if, so you did come back. And there was there at the gig, Mallory was playing, and she was like, I want to start a band, do you know a guitarist? And I was like, I think I'm a guitarist, maybe I can play. And she was like, do you know a drummer? I was like, no, I don't know anyone. And she said, well, the girl that's selling tickets at the door, she's tapping on the table. Maybe she's a drummer.
Nice.
So she went there and said, do you play the drums?
Yeah.
She was like, no, I don't. I'm a guitarist. She said, but do you want to try? We got rehearsal next week. And she was like, all right.
Yeah.
So she was playing the drums for the first time with us.
Yeah.
On the rehearsal room, and 6 weeks later we did our first gig.
And she was solid on the drums.
She was solid eventually. I mean, but I couldn't play guitar. She couldn't play the drums.
Yeah.
We all learned together. And that was what was amazing about Madonnatron, I think, because we all built something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So
were you keen on making it an all-female band?
It's always been I always loved that idea.
Don't tell Dexter that. It's funny, I always think when people talk about male privilege a lot, I think in music, even though it's harder for women probably in most ways, if you can form an all-female band, you have an advantage over men, because there's a million bands with just blokes. If you can write some good songs, you got to be good as a male band.
Nowadays, maybe yes.
Yeah.
10 years ago, it still felt like there were pubs that were saying we don't want any female-fronted band.
Seriously?
Yeah. There was an article. I think it was in an English town, not in London. So there are still some prejudice, but I think now
that's shocking.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys have no idea what women go through in the rock scene.
Yeah.
I know. Well, 10 years ago. That's great.
Thank you. seem quite knee deep in the South London music scene. I guess that's like maybe through Madonnatron.
Yes, it's because I think I found a community of people, friends in this community, because it is a community.
Yeah.
So I've been since I played my first gig with Madonnatron. I kept seeing the same people. And they were mostly musicians from all sorts of different bands. And people that support the scene, like Will Smith, that is a videographer, and
yes, I've seen his name on clips.
He documents. He takes videos of all the various gigs. So he posts them online, and
it's great for bands.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
So,
cool. So I know I read that you did a post about it, but I'd like you to maybe tell the story. You played bass at a pre-Goblin gig at the Roxy. I was at the gig, and I went to that gig to see Fat White Family, but I missed pre-Goblin because I was working. So you were playing bass,
I was playing
but you
bass.
didn't know you hadn't. When did they ask you to do it?
So they asked me to do it about a week before. They asked me to do it, and I had to prepare it in like 2-3 days. I had to learn all the songs.
How many songs?
And I'm not a bass player.
Yeah.
A whole set. 40-minute set.
Oh, wow. So like 9 songs, 10 songs.
Something like that. And then I had to go to Paris with them and play another gig the day after, 2 days after.
Yeah.
But the night before the gig at the Troxy, I tried, because I'm not a bass player, I'm a guitar player. But obviously I know how the fret works.
And the strings.
Yeah, but the night before I was like in tears. I was like, I'm gonna humiliate myself and the band. I don't know the songs.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, the day after we did a little rehearsal with just me and Dexter.
Yeah.
So no rehearsal with the band at all. And I was like, now I'm feeling more confident. And I went on stage and I was absolutely relaxed for some reason. And I didn't make a single mistake, which was a surprise. But before the gig, it was quite, if you have never played with a band and it's not really a jam, you need to know the songs.
Yeah.
It was quite, an interesting, I loved it. It was really fun to play with them.
What a venue as well.
Sembley is an amazing songwriter. He wrote a few songs for Fat White Family and other,
Do you get nervous before you play? You get stage fright?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I used to for a long time.
Yeah.
Also because I couldn't play, but I couldn't just. I had to do the gigs because we were a band with Madonna.
Yeah.
But the first few years, for me, it was a constant humiliation. Like there were literally people coming to us and telling us, "You guys are shit. You need to stop."
Really?
Yeah, because we were really bad. We learned.
But your songs must have been good.
The songs were good, but they didn't have a structure. I did not believe in the structure concept, and I would be totally against having a structure because I was like, this is not experimental enough.
You were trying to break all the rules.
Yeah, but it was also because I didn't know there were rules.
Right.
I thought it was a free for all.
Yeah. I think that's a kind of younger musician thing. And when I started, I was like, I wanted to be everything I touched. Every note was original. And it's like, there are other people that need to enjoy it, It's not just a vanity,
Totally.
I'm the greatest artist that ever lived.
Yeah. At the time, I think I was a lot more narrow-minded with the music I used to listen to. And I was more like, I would just listen to certain genres and listen of it. Now I've opened my mind. Through listening to music, you expose yourself to other musicians and you realize there are people, and even the people that make pop, that back then for me was like pop used to
dirty word,
horrify
isn't
me.
it?
Yeah. Now I'm like, I listen to a bit of everything and I've opened my mind a bit.
Well, punk is pop. Like structurally, they're very simple songs with catchy choruses. Last question, I think it's like the question everyone asks in every interview that's ever happened. What are your plans, upcoming gigs and releases?
Yes. Well, we have a few songs that are ready to be released.
Yeah.
And we are going to release them with Blank Records.
Blank,
which is a label.
B-L-A...
G. B-L-A-N-G.
Blang, okay.
Yeah, so an EP is gonna come out both in as vinyl and online.
Yeah.
it will come out, I think, at the beginning of the year.
Did you say EP?
EP.
Oh, a few songs, fantastic. Yeah.
Then we got a few gigs, a couple of gigs only coming up.
Yeah.
There is one on the 28th of November. It's gonna be with Static Lives, which is a band from Sheffield. And they are very post-punk, really cool. It's gonna be at the Waiting Room in Stoke Newington. And then we go on the 17th of December, the Windmill. We're gonna be supporting Pat Lyons.
Cool. Well, there you go. There you have it. If you're around those times, we'll mention those on our show. So Stefania Cardenas.
Yeah, actually Cardenas. That's the right.
Cardenas with the R. You roll your R's. You said that in your song, no?
Roar.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.